Asdb.
Woke up, pen this note to self. Thought it might be of some help. Funny how I felt the need to explain myself to myself. Why? Really trying to get organized, borderline, a lot to do, feeling a little behind, exercising demons and trying to find time to exercise, simultaneously searching for the meaning of life. It's a lot. I think I spotted it, enlightenment, dancing with the unknown. I try to make my way over it. I get closer, I see a barricade, fear blocking me from coming near.
Asdb podcast.
Hello, world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting, sharing, commenting, liking. I greatly appreciate it. You're listening to the Asdb podcast. I'm on every week on Google Play, iTunes, and YouTube, and also SoundCloud. Make sure you guys check me out. Continue to support the show. Continue to share it to your friends and associates. Continue to like it, and always feel free to comment. It's been a very disturbing week as far as what's been going on in the world, but you know, these issues go on all the time, and we tend to sweep it under the rug, and that issue is mental illness. Mental illness is not just for white people. It's not just targeted to white people or targeted to rich white people. Okay? Just because you see it on TV and you see it in movies, or you might have experienced seeing it in your school. And I say we because I'm a black man, we have mental illness in our own community that we have been sweeping under the rug for generations. And it needs to be addressed. I don't want to hear anything about staying woke if you can address and you're not trying to bring awareness to what we got going on in our own community. Staying woke does not always have something to do with what the media is trying to portray us as, or what actions of the law enforcement is doing towards us, or you know, the racism that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. There are issues within our own community that we need to be aware of, and we need to not only just be aware of, but we need to actually do something about. And I just can't stand when I hear stay woke and you're only talking about racism, police brutality. You know, I'm just sick of that when it comes to my people only trying to keep it where it's, well, just stay woke when it comes to the media and how they portray us. Well, stay woke when it comes to racism. Stay woke when it comes to police brutality. Yes, stay alert when it comes to all three of those things. But also, you need to stay alert and be aware of what's going on in your own community. And when I say that, I'm talking about the mental illness that we have going on in our own community, which has a lot to do with poverty. And poverty has a lot to do with the fact that we destroy things by each other, for each other, and therefore no other race is going to appreciate what we got going on because we don't show appreciation ourselves. Don't give me this crap that white people are all out to get us. You have a point to a certain extent, but you can't sit here and tell me that the Hispanics go through the same thing, that the Asian community go through the same thing, that the Indian community go through the same thing, that the Arab community goes through the same thing, that the Jewish, the Greek, any other ethnicity. Get off of this BS that we are always the victim. We have been the victim for generations, but if you're 30, if you're under 50 years old, for the most part, quit acting like you are owed 40 acres and a mule. You didn't pick any cotton. You didn't pick any cotton. You didn't go through any whippings, slave type. You didn't go through any of that. So quit trying to talk as if you went through the struggle. Yes, your grandparents, your great grandparents went for it. If you're speaking for them, then I can dig that. I can respect that. But we're getting so much to the point now to where all we want to do is sit and complain and type our complaints. And we're doing nothing about it. We have really serious issues amongst ourselves that we need to work on. And no, I'm not sitting up here trying to act like, I'm not trying to make an excuse for the unlawful killings from police officers to black people, or the racism that we may experience day to day in corporate America, the workforce, or just how the media may tend to portray us at times. But I got a lot to say in regards to this, so stay tuned. Keep it locked right here on the podcast. This should be played at Asdb.
Yeah, let me be straight up, I need a job, homie. 9 to 5, man, I ain't even got 5 on it. Got this interview, but I ain't got no ride. So I guess I'll catch the city bus. Before I do, I'll get Captain Kush for breakfast. Had a bowl this morning, she'll be sober by 11. I'm high as heaven. Popping breath mints, only trying to make a nice impression. So I freshen up, crease my slacks, shirt on tuck, put on cologne, think I squirt too much. Try and cover up the purple, I puff up a work where I'm full. Need work like a club, pockets been hurting like a mug. Opportunity is in the mud, and dirty I'll get for this 40-hour shift. Sweep and scrub, I'll plunge out shit. Right out the check, still on the bus. My stop is next, get off and I walk, but I block. Still blowed in the boots, fuck up squat. Hope they don't know that I'm high. Cause my eyes heavy, eyes cherry. You know that I got me some drops. Now let me try to focus. Man, I hope they don't notice. Cause I'm
too high, can't come down. Losing my head round and round.
Man, I'm throwed in this. I'm throwed at the frame. Man, I'm throwed in this bitch. Throwed at the brain. Man, I'm throwed.
Too high, can't come down.
Man, I'm throwed.
Losing my head round and round.
Man, I'm throwed in this bitch. I'm throwed in the frame. Throwed in this bitch.
yeah. So I got to get, don't even really know how I got this shit. So the guy to give all the glory, can't live off unemployment. Now they want me to start the next morning. Shit, I'm like, cool. From 5 a.m. to about 2. Need to find a ride or rock, cause I'm screwed. Ain't trying to get fired, but what am I to do? I don't know, maybe catch a cab. But they ain't got cash, so I have to dash. Beginning the training, I ain't trying to miss not a minute of payment. Long story short, yo, I did it and made it. Clocked in, calls and I hope I in. Other than they're hating, the train is obnoxious. And I ain't got the patience. Can't wait till 2 o'clock, man, when the first break is. Cause I swear that I'm blazing. Got a boot in my pocket, already rolled up. Went far around the corner, made sure nobody watching. So I fired up. Now I'm hot. Yo, I already know this is the type of shit that a nigga get fired for. But I wasn't even thinking. Walked in straight stankin'. Smell just like a pound, but ain't nobody say shit. Feeling like I'm on a spaceship. Nah, ain't no coming down. Fuck around, just tell them that I'm coming down with a cold. No, I can say it's emergency, gotta go. No, I just roll with it. Man, I'm tripping, I should've brought the cologne with me. What I don't know is that his camera was watching. I was sitting in the train, the manager walked in, looked me dead in the face and said, meet me in office, don't keep me waiting. Man, I hope that he playing, but I know that he not. You see where this going, I go in the door, then he close it and lock. And he said, you must be.
Hey, ADD, song called Can't Come Down on the OutSquare.biz podcast. Make sure you check me out on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube every week. The rant for today is mental illness amongst the black community and how it isn't ever addressed, how it is always pushed to the side, swept under the rug, whatever phrase you want to use, is never, ever addressed, talked about, treated, and I just never understood why. Because children become teenagers and teenagers become adults and they end up living lives of their own. And if they don't get taken care of, if they're not being treated for whatever illness that they may be experiencing, all it's going to do is enhance in a bad way, and you end up in situations like a Steve Stevens situation, you know, or a DC Sniper situation. These are mental issues, you know, that need to be addressed. And I can take it even further. I mean, I can take it to another route. It can be an Aaron Hernandez situation. You think by being in the game that you are mentally aware of what it is. You are fully aware that by joining the game, there is a possibility that you could end up dying or going to jail. Or it might become a point where you might have to murder somebody out of self-defense or just because you got the call to do so. And you still decide to join because you feel like that's your family. Something isn't clicking in your head. Now, for most part, you can sit there and say, okay, I was young. Granted, I get that part. Because you're not mature, you're not aware, and if you got people around you that you see doing this, you thinking this is the way of the way it's supposed to be. Just like if you see a father beating on if you see your father beating on your mother, you start to think as a man, this is what's supposed to happen. This is how you're supposed to be in a relationship with a woman. You're supposed to put your hands on her. No, that's not the case. Or if you're a daughter, you might think, well, this is what love is. He has to hit me for me to feel love, you know, in some twisted way. These are things that are going on in the mindset of our people. And it's wrong. It's all the way wrong. Like, you should not join the game. Trust me, I know this. I made that mistake. I'm not going on a rant because of it's a good thing to do. It sounds good. I experienced a lot of this and I made those bad choices. And by the grace of the higher power, I'm still here. How long? That's up to the higher power. But while I'm here, I will do everything I possibly can to consult, counsel, advise the youth and even my peers in regards to life and the choices that they just are thinking about making or that they are making. If you come to me, I'm you know, but I'm not going to come up to you preaching because nobody likes to be preached at. And I feel like because of that, we have ran away from the church because we always feel like we're being judged and preached at. And you can't judge me and you can't come at me preaching when you're a walking hypocrite, bottom line. And I feel like my generation and younger have realized that. I'm a spiritual dude, not a religious one. So with that being said, I will be back with more in regards to this mental illness issue and the things that are all attached to that tree, the branches that is. So we're going to go on with Alex Isley, Don't Do, on the owlsquare.biz podcast. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Love the critics too. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
This
Alex Asdb, Don't Do, off the EP Love Art Memoirs. Make sure you check her out. She's on SoundCloud. She's on iTunes, as well as Amazon. Make sure you support and check out a talented artist right there. You're listening to the OutSquare.biz podcast. I'm on every week on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Appreciate the love and support. Continue to support, share, subscribe, comment, and like. Greatly appreciated. Back to the topic back to the issue at hand. Mental illness amongst the Black community. I find it ironic how we don't discuss this issue. And we tend to, if you really wrap everything up as far as the things that we as a people have experienced and are experiencing today. Yes, we are strong mentally, physically, but I don't think we are as strong emotionally as well as spiritually. When I say that, I think that we use religion to hide behind our emotions, to cover up how we feel. Instead of talking things out, we're so quick to say, well, go pray about it. Yes, I understand praying. You definitely should pray. But that's almost to me like prayer without action is simply a wish. It's no different from you praying to get a job, but you don't apply for one. You don't apply for jobs. You're not putting any action behind your prayer. So in order for you to find answers to whatever it is that's concerning you in regards to your mental illness or to whoever your loved one is, or friend, it has to come with action. There are people who are trained to talk to. Like, we feel like we can't talk to anybody, or we too cheap to talk to somebody. We'll sit here and say, well, I can't afford to pay a shrink to talk to. I can't afford that. I don't have the benefits for that. Okay. I can understand that. I can get that. I can respect that to a certain extent. It's kind of hard for me to respect that and understand that if your money is going into materialistic things that you don't necessarily need. You can hold off on them Jordan sneakers that you got 3 pair of the same ones. You can hold off on those, on that 4th pair of the same shoe. Because you have issues and you choose not to address those issues because you don't want to look like a punk. You don't want to look like you soft. You don't want to look like you weak. But what you really are displaying, you are already displaying those traits by not getting the proper help, the treatment that you need. You are already displaying that you are weak because you're worried about what somebody else thinks of you. You're soft because you think that nothing is wrong with you, but we're always quick to say I'm not perfect. If you are quick to say I'm not perfect, then why do you feel like you don't have nothing wrong with you to where you feel like you don't need to talk to somebody and vent? Yeah, talking to the pastor is cool. Don't get me wrong, but he can't or she can't be the only. Can't be the only outlet. Can't be the only lane for you to deal with those issues, because they will use the Bible like they supposed to help guide you. But sometimes, a lot of times, real life experiences help get you through situations. I can relate with a person more who gives me a situation, who tell me of an experience that they had with this issue that they were struggling with mentally, emotionally, than a pastor, he or she, quoting Bible scriptures and not having anything to relate to them Bible scriptures. That's interesting to me. I'm not, that don't move me. I'm not a child. I'm not a teenager. I'm not a young adult. So with that being said,
Beat by Timeless One.
topic. Hashtag ASDB. Be right back.
On some Sunday afternoon type stuff, you know? They telling me I walk around inside my mind too often. I tell them there's a better world that I'd rather get lost in. Too much negative energy, I aim to keep it positive. That's how I live, but still learning to forgive. I never said I was perfect. I've been seeing this earth for what it's worth and trying to find my purpose. Writing verses, seen a hearse outside the church. Her son was murdered, she was hurt. I wonder what could make a person kill a person. Do that dirt, leave that dude out on that curb. That's that stuff that'll kill your courage. You wanna go out but lose your nerve. How absurd. We should be moving forward, but we move in reverse. Act like primates, then revert back to caveman, just so I can eat some. You might get your head caved in, but something about that don't feel right. I feel like this can't be real life. I meditate and pray for better days, but it seems like it's still night. I meditate and pray for better days, but it seems like it's still night. But something about that don't feel right. I feel like this can't be real life. They blowing marijuana, sending smoke signals to God. Oh yeah, we love getting high, cause life down here is super hard. We pray for better days. We pray for better days. Damn, we need some better days. We need some better days. Sipping on Coronas, they buy pills and then they drive. That's only cause they heard that no one really ever died. We need some better days. We need some better days. Damn, we need some better days. We need some. Here we go. Yo. I aim to keep it peaceful, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, cast no judgment, and treat everybody equal. But that's a lot, and I be struggling with that. So much struggling, in fact. Hold on, let me take that back. Honestly, I probably do that half the time. There's a whole lot of minds out there that can't hang with a mastermind and shit. I'm trying to mastermind. Study philosophy to pass the time, then mess with this music shit. Well, you see, I have to grind, but that's just fine. I'd rather be doing this than running up in houses, pistol whipping spouses, trying to figure out if they got large amounts hitting throughout the house and then peel out. Yeah. Reflect on living a life without fear. I look to the sky and question if God is out there. It's Timeless One and topic and we out. Yeah. They blowing marijuana, sending smoke signals to God. Oh yeah, we love getting high, cause life down here is super hard. We pray for better days. We pray for better days. Damn, we need some better days. We need some better days. Sipping on Coronas, they buy pills and then they drive. That's only cause they heard that no one really ever died. We need some better days. We need some better days. Damn, we need some better days. We need some. Heaven is where you are. Timeless One, what up?
Better days or better day? Okay. Can I go now? Topic. Better days on the OutSquare.biz podcast. Salute to the good sir. He just made a move to Oakland, moved to Bay Area to further pursue his music career, and want to congratulate him on doing that. Gotta make that move if you feel the need to, you know, when it comes to your career. I don't care what it is. I salute anybody who takes that risk to do that. So salute to you, sir. Continued success. Rooting for you. Shout out to Team from Nowhere as well. Shout out to the homie Cool Keys, Domino. Very dope group right there. Very talented group. Once again, we're talking about mental illness amongst the black community and how it gets swept under the rug, how we suffer in silence. And it's a big problem. Recently, we just some people witnessed watching on Facebook Live a man who was frustrated with things that was going on in his life and the choices he made in his life. And by experiencing by him going through those situations, hardships of the choices that he made, he took it upon himself to take it out on others. And walked up to an elder man who was, from my understanding, walking home from one of his children's house for Easter. He was walking home to his house, and he was approached by this man and was shot in the head, point blank range, because this man wanted to take out his frustrations on the choices that he made out on somebody. And he chose this man who had no reason whatsoever to experience that. Rest in power, Mr. Godwin. It's unfortunate. I refused at the time to share the video. I just know I was very livid after seeing it. And I'm not even going to give this man any recognition as far as giving out his name. Only name you need to know about is Mr. Robert Godwin. And my condolences go out to his family. It's tough, man. That's a tough one. That could have been anybody's grandfather. Could have been anybody's father. Anybody's brother, uncle. And it lets you know how we tend to go into we went into an uproar about that video and catching him and, wanting him to be murdered. This is the one time I can say that black people didn't care if a white police officer found him and shot him. I will honestly say that this is one time they would have been like, you know what? All good. No complaints here. Black Lives Matter. Won't be saying anything about this. This is, hey, he deserved it. This man had a mental illness. He took his life. Depression got to him. He was about to get caught, and he committed suicide, from my understanding. No way I think he would have made it in prison. Somebody would have took him out if he would have went to prison anyway. So, but the bottom line is this man was suffering from mental illness, and we do not address it because it's like it shows weakness. And I just don't understand that. We have to do better when it comes to communicating with each other, our friends, our family. We need to communicate with each other more. We can't rely on taking care of it ourselves or thinking it's going to go away. This is not a cold. This is not the flu. This is not a headache. You don't take pills for it and it's just going to go away. And that's another thing. All these damn prescriptions they want to just throw it and make you take. It don't make any sense. But hey, what do I know, right? Hashtag ASDB.
My favorite pair of shades, no hangover, just to get a head start on the pain. Skip breakfast, breaking out, pulling on my armor, tying on my boots, hoping that these will take me further than the last pair did. Bernie down the tread, voices in the world, drown the ones in my head, drilling in my psyche, make it inside me. Hurts the sticking nails through my fucking eyelids. Try this, you couldn't even buy this. Sip away, I signed it, blood on the dotted line, notarized that you're blinded, couldn't even find it. Even if I drew you a backwards Caribbean pirate, caught up in Morpheus, sleeping like sheep, dumb blindly believing. Group think you couldn't conceive it. You'll try, but you can't compete with. Caught in the phase, all just the days. Oh, what they say, all has no weight, frozen in place, eyes wide amazed. Oh, blood reach the plains, it's all just a race. We set the pace, our weapons of choice, we'll move in the race. Try as you may, you'll never trace. We have the trump card, we are the ace.
Reaching for nirvana, hoping that we see the afterlife. Solidify our steps in stone and bottle up our sands of time. Standing at the edge, we are the standing up above it all. There can be no promises, we brace for the
I'm a pessimist, I prefer a realist. Sticking to the truth, no positive and negative. No point in politics, working in a deficit. Cause someone's always doubting, though the truth is quite evident, prevalent. Why can't you understand my sentiment is definite? Every step I take is a testament to limitless eminence, I just wanna be limitless. Where's my NZT, let it drip IV. Decisions like visions, all ESP. And the coverage they see has a dripping envy. Tryna rub me out quick like DYE, maybe DIE. Tunnel vision to the end is all I see. Can't handle the truth like Jesse P. If I don't make the goal, can't RIP, can't rest in peace.
reaching for nirvana, hoping that we see the afterlife, alive. Solidify our steps in stone and bottle up our sands of time. Standing at the edge, we are the sun above it all. There can be no promises, we praise, yeah, we praise for the fall. Reaching for nirvana, hoping that we see the afterlife, alive. Solidify our steps in stone and standing up above it all. There can be no time. Solidify our steps in stone and standing up above it all. There can be no time. Solidify our steps in stone and standing up above it all. There can be no time. Solidify our steps in stone and standing up above it all. There can be no time. Solidify our steps in stone and standing up above it all. There can be no time.
Hey, that Sam Lau song called Nirvana on the OutSquare.biz podcast. You guys make sure you check her out. I think she goes by the Sam Lau on social media. Definitely want to check out her music. Very talented artist as well. She moves around a lot as far as where she performs, so she don't always do a lot of local events, but she's always around. I think she does. She's always in New York performing, so she definitely gets some love in New York, and that's a good thing. You know, stepping outside the box, pursuing your career, making it happen. You can't just do it by sitting at home. You got to get out. You got to make it happen. Got to make moves. So salute to her and her team. Once again, you're listening to the OutSquare.biz podcast. I'm on every week on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Make sure you comment. Always feel free to comment. Feel free to like. Feel free to share, as well as subscribe using hashtag Asdb. Back to the rant of the mental illness amongst the black community. I will say this. Now, what white people will do that I just find just mind-boggling is if somebody is sick or going through something, they quick to grab them pills. Like, hey, all right, well, just go get a prescription. Be done with it. Take these pills, be done with it. We don't talk about it. We drug ourselves about it. And I'm noticing that we do that as well. We're starting to do that more too, to where we just pop pills. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It might have always been an issue amongst the black community, but once again, This is what what I've seen, what on TV or what I've heard as far as mental illness being only a white person illness. And you know what? It's not always just a white person illness. It seems like it's always been said to me growing up it was a rich white person illness. Like, only people who have mental illness like that is rich white people, because that's what you saw on TV. Because they always go to the doctor, get prescribed, and then they just be on pills. They just pop pills. Like, oh, make sure they take their pills. They ain't take their pills. That's why they, weirding out right now. When all along it can be anybody going through that. So when the media portrays certain things, your train of thought, I can understand why we tend to think, or we feel that we need to sweep our issues under the rug, because we like, oh yeah, that's rich white people problems, but it's a human problem. Everybody's going through it. And in order for people to stay woke, like a lot of people tend to say, because it's the trendy thing to say now, you can't only be woke when it comes to how the media portrays us. You can't only be woke when an officer wrongfully murders a black person. You can't only be woke when it comes to the day-to-day racism that we may experience in our lives, day-to-day lives. You just can't be woke when it comes to those three very important issues and concerns, but you just can't be woke when it comes to that. We have to also be woke when it comes to the awareness that we experience in our own communities. We have situations in our communities that need to be addressed. They need to be aware of. So that's why I'm real quick to say, no, I'm not woke. I try my best to stay alert, because you can be woke the whole time. In my eyes, you can be woke and still not know what the hell is going on around you, because you got tunnel vision, or because your head is so high up in the clouds in your own world. So that's the only concern that I always had when people say stay woke. Okay, but is it only when it comes to those issues right there, or is it as a whole? Because we do need to work on making ourselves better and helping each other to be better as a race. And we start that off by our communities. Respect to our elders, respect to our women. As men, we have a huge responsibility, man. We have a huge responsibility that we should all take with pride. We are the examples, and we will remain the examples. I'll continue my rant in a little bit. Michael Taylor, off the 88 Ghost album, OurSquare.biz podcast.
Got my ticket for the first plane out of here. Baby scared cause I'm changing up my atmosphere. She said, boy, you better watch your back. You don't know the mother niggas like that. And every girl looking for something to hold on to. So, oh, now we ain't speaking, but that's only for the weekend. And she know by next Tuesday she'll be in my berry freaking. But if she can have it her way, I be hanging from a tree. And if she can't have me, can't nobody have me yet again. Loved you a lot early on, so you can say something when I'm gone. Baby, won't be long. Baby, won't be long.
She said I hate you, cause this ain't you, nigga. You giving me your love, then it's no thank you, nigga. Oh, nigga.
See, I done heard this before. Sounds something like a bad joke.
She said I hate you, nigga. This ain't you, nigga. You giving me your love, then it's no thank you, nigga. Oh, nigga.
See, I done heard this before. Sounds something like a bad joke. priority, or am I going too far now? No, it ain't my fault, you let your guard down. Then she said, oh yeah, a rapper, so you tell me how it's going down. Oh no, boo, I'm pregnant, so you show me all your money now.
I hate you, bitch. This ain't you, bitch. You giving me your love and this no thank you.
I do what I gotta do, but somebody tell me it's a bad joke.
He said I hate you, bitch. This ain't you, bitch. You giving me your love and this no thank you.
I do what I gotta do, but somebody tell me it's a bad joke.
Michael Taylor, Bad Jokes, off the EP titled 88 Ghosts. Make sure you check them out on SoundCloud. It's a dope EP. You definitely want to listen to it. Been following the kid on Instagram, and he's been making some moves as far as, you know, talking to record labels and stuff like that in LA and everything. I pray that everything goes well for you, sir, as well as for your team. Keep working, keep grinding. You're a very talented dude. No doubt about it. You're listening to the Outsquare.biz podcast. I'm on every week on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Please share, subscribe. Feel free to comment and like. I enjoyed being critiqued because there's no such thing to me as hate. I appreciate being critiqued and learning how to, you know, be better, do better, learn more, research more. Go back to the discussion of mental illness. I feel my upbringing was, I say these things prior to this off experience. I had my aunt on my father's side. God rest her soul. She passed a few years back. She suffered from mental illness, and as long as I've been alive, and she was alive, she was suffering from mental illness. And I used to hear stories from my mother and family members that used to tell me, oh, you know, before certain situations occurred in her life, she was the life of the party, a lot of love, a lot of energy, you know, all those things. And then all of a sudden, you know, she came back home and she just wasn't the same, and she hasn't been the same ever since. You hear that. But I never heard anything in regards to, well, she's getting treated for those issues. And it's not like our family couldn't afford to do it, because I grew up in a family full of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, not just entrepreneurs, but actual successful entrepreneurs. So, but also the same successful entrepreneurs were also very religious minded. And when I say that, they was quick to say, well, we're just going to pray about it. And that will be it. And yeah, you went to service and you prayed about it and you asked for the congregation to pray about it and everything. And that's great. That's nothing wrong with that. You know, whatever helps you get through it, so be it. My concern was she never got the actual help that, like, as far as like what can help her try to get through this. It was either prescriptions, you know, and I don't even know if she took prescriptions like that, because I never really seen her take pills, and I was around her enough in my life to know that something wasn't right. But you know, that goes back to you can't ask those questions. I'm a grown folks. This is about grown folks and they ain't got nothing to do with you. And that, of course, irritated the hell out of me to a point to where I would tell any parent, if your child has a question, it's best to give them the answer to that question and have a reason behind that answer. Because if you don't, they find answers in other areas in this world, and it might not be good. It just might not be good. And if you don't sit down and talk to them, like, this is a bad idea, and let me tell you why this is a bad idea. That means so much to kids. I don't care if they looking at you like they don't care. They gonna always remember what you tell them. Your actions speak louder than your words a lot of the time. So you just can't tell them and then you're doing the complete opposite, because now the trust is gone. If there's something going on within the family or something you see going on with your friends and it's a mental illness and it needs to be addressed, then it's your responsibility as a friend, as a family member, as a person who loves that person, to seek help, to be aware, to find out what it is you can do to help, along with praying to the higher power to guide you in that direction. Hashtag Asdb.
Ology. I live a marvelous lifestyle, massage from the models while I'm carving the White House. Y'all don't want beef, you throwing the white towel, man. You ain't the plug, you a punk, so pipe down. And I'm known for putting the pipe down. Reason why I got these porno chicks on flights now. I'm a poet, but I spit for a price now, cause I know Poppy ain't bringing the price down. I'm about to have no feelings. Deep, do you dance with the devil in your sleep? Wake up, there's a pool full of tears in your sheets. People wanna kill you cause they can't tame the beast. I'm on point, say the least. Eyes sharp as a Ginsu. You stay on defense when the world is against you. Even your own fam and your girl is against you. The way you feel when you at war with your mental. Even if life is just a dream, can I go and get it? I'm sick and tired of this game. And they say it'll never happen. And they pray it'll never happen. Even if life is just a dream, can I go and get it? Yeah, I'm sick and tired of this game. And they say it'll never happen. Quote, hey yo, dames, brains is the basics. Doms and Long Islands, 30s with a facelift. We Koh-i-Noor diamonds, throw your shit into the spaceship. G's popping bottles, blowing steam, we where the safe sit. Freeze, Aqua di Cristallos on the bracelet, it's a dream. My team stays magic, illa in all habits. Get in your fall fabrics, jigger the myrrh chalice. G-Star jeans, I floss with no malice. Most below average. Hold up, I need to tell you what I should've told you. This ain't a takeover, it's via Leopolda. Monte Carlo betting black card for what I owe ya. Take it to the bank, money stank like ammonia. Chemical riches, I need a small drink. The missus, tipping 70 Cheval Blanc. Dishes with the caviar, mixes with a Paragon. What you think, bitch? Even if life is just a dream, can I go and get it? I'm sick and tired of this game. And they say it'll never happen. And they pray it'll never happen. If life is just a dream, can I go and get it? I'm sick and tired of this game. And they say it'll never happen.
Terminology featuring cocaine, diamonds on the OwlSquare.biz podcast. Definitely appreciate you sending me that. For any artists who want to send their music to me to possibly be played on the podcast, make sure you send it to music@OwlSquare.biz. I will definitely check it out. I appreciate everybody who has been listening to episode 5. I appreciate everybody who's been listening since day one. I don't care if you've been listening, if you just started listening last week. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to my podcast. I'm on every week. Pick your poison. Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook at alsquare.dotbiz. Make sure you type out the dot. As crazy as it's been with the recent events, no, it's been going on, guys. It's just now we have it on social media. So things have to be addressed. And I feel like now is probably the toughest time to be a parent, because everything is right there at a click of a mouse. So you can't run away from the questions and the concerns that your children may have, or that the youth may have, for people who are not parents, but they're counselors, they're mentors, they're teachers. I don't care if you are a parent or you not, you have an obligation to educate the youth and help them understand what it is that's going on in today's times. In order for them to understand what's going on in today's times, you need to also educate them on the history, so they know how things were back then, went from then to now. Because by doing so, it helps them understand and make sense of everything that's going on right now, even though sometimes we don't know what's going on right now, because we're human beings and it's all a head scratcher, it's all mind boggling, and we're all going through it together in some type of way. We all have a struggle that we got going on in our lives, that we experienced growing up, that made us the man or the woman that we are today. But understand that change is good for the most part. Don't ever feel like you cannot change your ways or how you go about or the choices that you make. You have that option on this earth. And as hard as it is, as hard as it may be, don't judge anybody. As hard as it may be, because sometimes you just do it without even trying to do it. And nobody likes a person that likes to preach at them.